Hello, everyone, and welcome to this brief introduction to a People's Forum for Cooling the Planet, which I abbreviate PFCP, People's Forum for Cooling the Planet. And the basic idea is that our planet is overheating exponentially. The rate of overheating has been increasing over the years. It's now somewhere between 2 and 3 watts per square meter. And that's averaged over 24/7, 7 days a week, all over the entire surface of the planet. So it's literally as if there were like a 2.5 watt light bulb with an aluminum reflector thing so that all the heat just gets pounded onto this one square meter of surface, whether it's ocean surface or land or ice or whatever. That's the average, right? And that's the net heat that's absorbed, that's not re-radiated out into space. So we're just overheating, 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 and it is killing us. It's killing all of life on Earth little by little. Notably, ocean ecosystems, they've borne the brunt. The ice at the poles have also borne the brunt. And now we're feeling it on land in big ways, and it's destroying crops, and it's anyway. But the good news is we can cool our planet. We have the technology to do so. We have the methods, and some of the vital ways of cooling our planet fall under the broad category of geoengineering. And there are a bunch of interests in the world, notably the financial sector that has invested heavily in green energy, that does not want any competition for green energy. And so they've given geoengineering a bad name. That's kind of the overall framing. And certainly no one in the world, no sector, no organization, no government, no company, no NGO, no church or religion or no entity in the world is taking the lead on saying, how do we cool the planet? Not just how do we do it technically, but how do we move past these blockades in the form of, the green energy and green tech sectors, preventing even sensible conversation or experiments around geoengineering, where the geoengineering is getting blocked at every turn. And you have some dedicated laboratories in different parts of the world working on different geoengineering solutions, like the University of Washington, working on a marine cloud brightening project. And their experiments are getting shut down because of this fear of geoengineering. Well, I think it's more than fear. I think it's an organized blockade. But anyway, that's some context, and that's just my perspective. Lots of people have different perspectives. But whatever your perspective, I believe you must ultimately agree with me that we need to cool our planet, that we're overheating. It's absolutely unsustainable. It's killing us. How do we cool our planet? That's open for discussion. So let's discuss it. So that's what the People's Forum for Cooling the Planet, PFCP, is all about. Is it starts with discussion, with conversation, with analysis. What are our different options? What's getting in our way? How can we, create or form alliances, orchestrate the different sectors into doing their jobs once we've figured out an optimal strategy and an optimal plan? And we need to do all this very quickly. So it's an all hands on deck moment. I've included in this email in which you found this video, and I'll also include the links in the video itself, but in this video itself. So links to Professor Guy McPherson's his invitation to PFCP and his welcome. These are two short videos that you can watch. And I'm also including links to 3 different Google documents that go into the details of PFCP. Let me show the first one. The first one is in the invitation email that the invitation video that Professor Guy McPherson has recorded, the first one. So here's the basics. We're going to meet every Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern, starting tomorrow, June 25th. And here's the link to the Zoom meeting. The very first meeting tomorrow on June 25th is a special volunteers pre-meeting, as I talk about here, but even, people who are just curious about the possibility of volunteering are welcome to join. And then but in addition to talking about volunteer opportunities, we're also going to collaborate on, really co-creating the first general meeting of the PFCP. And then the general meetings will start a week later on July 2nd and will be every Tuesday. And in this first Google Doc, we go into, the goals of a People's Forum, the goals of PFCP, and the main goal, first and foremost, is to answer three fundamental questions. Can we cool our planet in time? There are people who believe we can't, that it's a runaway train and there's nothing stopping it. Well, if we can cool our planet in time, how do we accomplish that technically? And then beyond the technically, if we're able to accomplish it technically, then how do we accomplish the needed full-scale technical implementations politically, culturally, socially, economically, financially, story-wise, media-wise, PR-wise, green energy-wise, per my earlier comments, and all other dimensions-wise? How do we do it, and other details? And anyway, you can read on, and then there's a link there to the second Google Doc, but I'll have all the Google Docs in the email for you to click on whichever ones you want, and then we talk about the format of it, et cetera, et cetera. And then the other Google Docs go deeper than that first Google Doc. So remember, there's a total of 3 here. The second one, I should probably number these, but they're not numbered now. But the second one says follow-on questions beyond the big 3. Remember those first big 3 questions. Can we cool our planet in time? If so, how do we do it technically? And then 3, how do we do it across all these other dimensions? So here's, follow-on questions beyond those big 3. And there are several paragraphs of additional questions here, then some follow-on points, and then I go into a bit more on collective human intelligence. And then there's a third document, which is linked to at the bottom here, which is called Going Deeper. And then that's the longest document of all, and it's basically a brain dump of everything not covered in the first 2. So anyway, that's an introduction. Everyone's welcome. Again, tomorrow, June 25th, is focused on volunteers, but you don't have to be committed to being a volunteer. You can just show up and be curious about volunteering, and there's never any pressure to volunteer. But tomorrow is the first meeting, so there'll be some non-volunteers there, I'm sure, and that's fine. Everyone's welcome, even to the volunteers pre-meeting, and then we'll start in earnest on July 2nd with every Tuesday from that point forward will be general meetings on PFCP. So welcome, and please spread the word. Please feel free to forward this email and this invitation to anyone you want who you think might be interested. I believe we need all hands on deck. This is the most urgent crisis facing humanity. And number one, hardly anyone even knows about it. And number 2, those who know about how urgent the situation is, 99% of those people who are a tiny minority, but 95% of that tiny minority believe that decarbonization is the answer. And they've, received some degree of brainwashing that, geoengineering, oh, that's bad. That's extreme. We don't want to go there. It's better to just solve the problem, and that perspective is completely false. If we did nothing but decarbonize our economy, emissions reduction, we actually accelerate global warming even faster because of the loss of global dimming, the loss of the aerosol masking effect, which is quite substantial. And anyway, I talk about this in depth in the Google Doc, so feel free to peruse. Come with your questions. And Professor Guy McPherson is going to be there tomorrow, June 25th, as well as every Tuesday that he can make it. And he'll give us a presentation tomorrow, and then we'll do Q&A, and there'll be more introductions, and then we'll get into the volunteer opportunities, et cetera, as well as co-creating, the People's Forum going forward. This is a co-creation of all of us. It's quite non-hierarchical, and we don't have everything figured out. We've got a bunch of cool ideas and a bunch of questions and a bunch of tremendous motivation and passion for this. But this is the first time that the people are coming together as the people to sort this whole thing out. Anyway, thank you for listening to this introduction, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow and anyone you care to invite. Thank you so much.